So Day by Day is an emergency shelter. So what that means is for anyone that is in need of housing or emergency support, we are able to offer that in real time. We are first come, first served facility, so that means the first 25 individuals that come to our shelter each evening can have a bed that evening. We're also considered what's called a last resort shelter. So that means anyone, regardless of criminal history, current usage of drugs and alcohol, any reason whatsoever, we are an option for them. For a lot of our guests, we're the only option available for them in Northeast Wisconsin. We actually have, from a 2016 census, we're told that we have over 200 homeless individuals in Oshkosh. And of course, you wouldn't think of that in little old Oshkosh, having that many homeless people. But compared to larger cities like Milwaukee County, we're actually 50% higher per capita. So that's a lot of individuals that are needing these services that we are providing. We're open for 180 days a year, and we choose that to be October 15th through April 15th during the coldest months of the year. So we operate under a temporary use permit, which of course limits the number of people that we can have in shelter each evening. So number 6, unfortunately, cannot get a bed in here that evening. When that happens, we try to provide the guests with a gift card so that they can eat at a local restaurant nearby, maybe stay inside warm somewhere for a period of time, and then a sleeping bag, just something to kind of cover up from the elements. We unfortunately see this fairly often. We actually had 177 occurrences of turnaway last season. So that's a lot of people seeking shelter that weren't able to get it because we are at capacity. You can see the facility behind us. We operate under church basement. So unfortunately, we don't have some of the safety requirements, the ADA compliance, all those different things. So we're allowed to use this space for our shelter. So we have to follow certain guidelines because of that. We actually have a wide variety of support opportunities here at the shelter. A lot is private donations from citizens and individuals in the community. We get a lot of private grants as well as some public grants from state, local, and federal levels. And we get a lot of sponsorships too. So we get a lot of corporate sponsorships or organizational sponsorships. Parishes in our community are really big supporters of the shelter. And then we do run events. So our largest event of the year, the Mile of Style fashion show, is something that we do every year, and that generates a lot of income for us.
Last season we had about 500 volunteers who came through between our meal teams and our hospitality volunteers. So we have 2 opportunities at Day by Day. The meal teams prepare the meals off-site, bring them in, and that's the meal for the guests for the evening. Hospitality are actually volunteers who work directly with our staff and with our guests. So we have a PM with that and an AM shift as well. Currently, our meal teams are full, which is really great. So that's one thing that we never have to worry about here at Day by Day is we always have a meal every single night. However, we do always need hospitality volunteers. These are great for anybody, families, retirees, students. So there's lots of different opportunities. Oh, we put you through a 2-hour training. So we really give you a great background of the shelter. We let you know the type of guests that we might be working with. We also start talking about the history of our shelters. So it's very important for them to understand the vision and know that one of the biggest things I say when we are going through the orientation is please be mindful and make sure that everybody is treated with dignity and respect here at Day by Day. And so those are the things that we kind of cover through. When you come through the orientation, it does do both meal team and it does hospitality. We do have requirements, so they have to be 18 and older to be independent. We do have where children come in with their parents, so that's definitely welcomed. There's a lot of children who come through the shelter, both through meal teams and hospitality. So they just have to be with their adult at all times, but yeah, they most definitely can come in here and do that. So volunteers, if they're interested in volunteering, I always send them to our website, which is www.warmingshelter.com. I tell them to click on the volunteer tab, and that really tells you all about what we do. It allows you to go ahead and get scheduled for orientations. It can help you get into the hospitality calendar or the meal team calendar. It also lets you know what you need to bring when coming in as a volunteer. We do provide all of the paperwork, so they have to fill out an application, a confidentiality agreement, and a photo release. Those are requirements to come in and volunteer at the shelter. But other than that, it's realistically anybody who wants to come in and volunteer is welcome. We have Boy Scout troop troops this season. We have Girl Scout troops, we have youth groups, all different kinds of children's groups that come through. However, I've also used them in different ways. So last season, the UWO track team came over to the shelter on 2 or 3 different occasions and actually helped us sort through our bin room and go through all of the clothes to make sure there were no stains, no holes, that all the zippers worked, and we kind of got everything organized. And they did a really great job. And so they came in those couple days and spent an hour or 2 here with me. We've also have a church youth group who comes in and does the shelter cleaning in the beginning of the season. So we have a lot of different opportunities when it comes to larger groups than just the meal team.
We have 5 staff members that are year-round, 3 full-time, 2 part-time, and then during season we have what is called our frontline staff. So our frontline staff operate the shelter when it's open. So we have 2 frontline staff on duty at all times when the shelter's open, and for us that's mainly comprised of UWO students. They have the flexibility to stay up late and operate the shelter during the regular season. So that's something that we hire from that population. We have about 15 to 20 staff in total though. Our entire staff is working hard and dedicating a lot of time and hours to make this mission possible, and even one success can make that worth it and continue the drive to try and make that possible for all the guests that come here to the shelter.
So obviously money is always our top need. Our utility bills get high in the winter and things like that. But warm winter gloves, insulated gloves, the real thick snow gloves are what we need in the winter the most. You know, those warm winter jackets, snow pants, winter boots, those are our greatest needs when it comes to this time of the year. You can also bring in snack items. The guests absolutely love snack items, and so then we're able to put that out at 7:30 for them to eat and, you know, kind of have a little bit of enjoyment that way. You'd come down to 449 High Avenue. We always encourage you to give us a call first at 920-203-4536, and we'd be happy to chat.
The biggest thing that we have at the shelter, we're just trying to build awareness and education about homelessness. A great way to follow along and learn more information about it is to join our Facebook page. We do updates about the shelter and some of our guests on a regular basis there. Also update all of our immediate needs on that page as well. We try to share all the successes that we have here at the shelter with the community so that we can educate and hopefully promote that change.
Oshkosh Today was supported in part by the Friends of OCM, Aurora Healthcare, 855 Northwest Haven Drive, and House of Flowers, 1920 Algoma Boulevard.